the thyroid, because a lot of people are very, very unaware of what it is, what it does. So let's start with that. What does it do? What's its role in our lives, and what's its overall function? And where does it sit? That's another thing.
Okay, the thyroid is a little heart-shaped thing that just sits down at the bottom of the cartilage here, often referred to as the Adam's apple. But that's the cartilage. It's just very, very small. That small little gland is the master hormone in the entire body, controls your estrogen and progesterone, controls the quality of your life, but also controls your heartbeat. No thyroid, no heartbeat. It controls every reflex muscle in your body. And if you were born with a faulty gene, in other words, you've inherited, which 80% of the people in the world now have, an inherited disorder that leads to thyroid problems, you start to suffer. Now, I was lucky. I do not have a thyroid problem. I don't even take my own thyroid medications because I don't have to. When I go through the questionnaire about symptoms, I don't have any. But just look at some of the symptoms, right? You sleep more than usual. Your hair's dry and thick and scaly. You've got poor memory. Your mood changes easily. You're more depressed. You're starting to identify with these things now, aren't you? Slower thinking, puffy eyes, difficulty with math, hoarse or deeper voice, constipation, a muscle and joint pain, low sex drive, puffy hands and feet. You bump into things, you gain weight easily. And of course, for a menstruating woman, your estrogen and your progesterone are controlled by thyroid. In other words, your menstrual cycle will not be 28 days exactly. Maybe 27, maybe 29. That is not normal. It has to be exactly 28. You may get clotting. It may last for more than three days. So if you need help with these things, you need to get your thyroid attended to. It won't show up in your bloods. All your blood tests will appear to be normal. In fact, according to Dr. A.J. Bayliss, head of the Endocrinology Society in Europe, he stated a few years ago that none, N-O-N-E, of any of the blood tests were valid. None. In fact, he went on to say that the only things that are valid are reflexes and symptoms. And if you have 3 more of these symptoms, you possibly have a thyroid problem that you want to try and treat yourself.
Yeah, and it's role because it dictates, it infiltrates almost every aspect, and it's just this kind of exponential effect, isn't it? I mean, before you gave me actual recognition of, hey, your thyroid's actually not working, I simultaneously by doctors had everything under the sun and a million different diseases, yet it was also all in my head, and
Yes.
that hit hard because I had close relatives say things like that, and that's just that widely accepted thing. Well, it's not showing up on my blood work because the parameters say this. So yeah, I don't know what's wrong with you taking any depressant. That's what I was told. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm not going
exactly,
crazy.
Olivia. Yeah. It's a band-aid to what the primary cause is.
Yeah.
In fact, you just said about, I just talking about these symptoms, you should see what the long-term effects that can start affecting you from 18 or 19 onwards, from the manifestations of misdiagnosed, untreated or undertreated hypothyroidism. It goes on to vertigo, sleep apnea, bipolar disorders, schizophrenia, psychosis, depression. It goes on and on. Joint effusion, all the joint problems. But listen to this: if you're hypothyroid, you double your chance of getting Alzheimer's.
That's a massive one, because that's where, I know nearly everyone I've spoken to, there's that kind of conscious fear of that, because it looks very scary. Yeah.
And of course, you can pick it up, and when you're speaking, because because we look at the neurotransmitters in our medical practice, we look at the neurotransmitter speeds. It's easy because, you know, all the brain things, so the poorer memory, more depressed, mood changes easily, the slower thinking, difficulty with math, the slight tremor, bumping into things, you think you're clumsy. That's all the start of the deterioration of the brain because of hypothyroidism.